Introduction to Learning Strategies by Peggy Marcy, a professor at California State University, San Bernardino. In this video, I want to look at learning strategies and some types of learning strategies. The first question I have for you is, what's the difference between a learning strategy and a teaching technique? In my opinion, and it is my opinion, the difference comes down to explanation and conscious awareness by the student. For example, usually during breaks in my class, I play some music. I like jazz or classical music to be playing lightly in the background. I do this because I know that music is huge in setting the right atmosphere in class. It lowers affective filters and it wakes up the brain. This is a technique I use. Sometimes halfway through the quarter, I will explain to the students why I'm playing the music and talk to them about using the right kind of music in the background while they're studying or during study breaks. Then it becomes a learning strategy. And that's a mild application of a learning strategy. But once I spent a couple class periods helping students understand this learning strategy. First, we read a research article about how listening to music by Mozart has been shown to improve math and science scores on tests. Then, our class administered a simple intelligence test to another class. Half of the class listened to Mozart first, and half didn't. My students were surprised to find that those who listened to Mozart did actually score several points higher on their tests. That was an attempt to help my students learn how to apply music as an affective strategy to their own lives. So, how can we define a learning strategy? I like the one in Dr. Diaz-Rico's textbook, Strategies for Teaching English Learners. She says that a strategy is any idea that the learner can use to increase their learning. I would add that they consciously and purposefully use the idea to improve their learning. Now, let's consider the difference between a learning style and a learning strategy. The biggest difference is that a learning style is something the student does without conscious awareness of it. Learning styles usually are used to talk about how a student likes to learn, such as through physical movement or by listening or by reading, and so on. Learning styles don't need to be taught to students except that they can be made aware of what their learning style is and how they can take advantage of that. These days, teachers are usually asked to adjust their lessons to fit the variety of learning styles in their class, instead of expecting the students to always adjust to what is being taught. Teachers can either find out specific learning styles of their students and teach to those, or they can incorporate a variety of learning styles and hope that they meet the learner's needs. Let's briefly look at four main categories of learning strategies. Cognitive strategies are fairly direct. Some examples of cognitive strategies are practice, in analyzing, inductive inference, deductive reasoning, clarification, and memorization. Teachers using these strategies are helping students learn how to think. Sometimes these are grouped together and called higher order thinking skills, with the acronym HOTS. Metacognitive strategies are more indirect. They involve learning how to learn. They're very similar to cognitive strategies, and the actual classification difference is probably not too important in the real classroom. Some metacognitive strategies include learning how to plan your learning, how to evaluate your learning, prioritizing, setting goals, and self-management. Sometimes these strategies are referred to as study skills. Affective strategies are also indirect. They involve controlling your emotions in a way that will improve learning. Some affective strategies are learning how to lower your anxiety in general, as well as specifically before tests or presentations, understanding the need to encourage yourself, and recognizing how you're feeling, how that's affecting your learning, and how you might change how you're feeling. These are also known as intrapersonal skills. Social strategies are closely related to affective strategies because our relationships with classmates affects our emotions. Social strategies involve learning how to better relate with other people and learn with and from others. Some social strategies include asking effective questions, turn-taking, extending conversations, learning to cooperate, and being able to empathize with others. These can be referred to as interpersonal skills. Many teachers use the social technique of putting students in pairs. You might consider going a step further and teach them the social strategy of how to successfully relate in those pairs. In summary, we explained that strategies require conscious and purposeful use by the learner. Learning styles are unconscious preferences for learning, and 4 major categories of strategies are cognitive, metacognitive, affective, and social.